Unemployment data released in early May shows mounting job losses for both women and men. However, women continue to lose a disproportionate number of jobs, accounting for 55% of the 20.5 million jobs lost in April and 60% of the more than 700,000 jobs lost in March. In April alone, women's job losses were 5 times higher than the total decline in women's employment during the Great Recession. So what does this mean going forward? Joining me right now to take a look at the numbers is Nicole Mason, President and Chief Executive of the Institute for Women's Policy Research, a leading voice on pay equity, economic policies, and research impacting women.
This pandemic has really exposed a lot of the challenges that many women before the pandemic were facing, how to, juggle their work and their career and also take care of their families, because we know that women are primarily responsible for caretaking demands of both their family and their children. And so the pandemic has laid this bare, and we know that it has put women in a double bind. Many women they're only 30% of the workforce, is able to stay at home. And so what that means is that many workers have been declared essential. Women workers are essential workers, and they really have to make some tough choices between, providing for their families and bringing home, a paycheck and taking care of their families. So it's a really impossible position.
You were recently quoted in the New York Times. You used the term Shecession. Is that how would you describe that?
We're definitely in a Shecession, and what that just means is that, for example, in 2008, men bore and lost a majority of the jobs in 2008, and here in 2020, the recession is predominantly women. Women have bore most of the job losses, and actually, it's a bit more extreme because, for example, we went from a 3% unemployment rate just 2 months ago to a 14.7% employment rate among women. That didn't happen in 2008, so this is more severe and will have a more devastating impact on families, especially women who are primary wage earners and bring in more than 40% of their household income. So this is very devastating for working women and families.
Do you think we'll be able to get back to the pre-COVID numbers?
Not right away. Absolutely not. Because we have to be very honest and be very clear that many of the jobs that have been lost over the last couple of months, many of them will not be coming back because some businesses will not be returning. So it really creates a sense of emergency and I would even say desperation among workers, because you have 20 million jobs lost, and we all know that all those jobs will not be coming back.
So what do you want to see in this, what they say is the final package, the next stimulus package?
So very clearly, I think we need to see money going to states so that they can shore up their budgets and not cut vital services and programs to families. So that's the first thing. I like to see continuous stimulus payments directly to families, and because $1,200 was certainly not enough to keep many families afloat. So we have a long road ahead of us, and in terms of economic recovery, we need to make sure that families and working people have money in their accounts to be able to pay for their basic necessities and make ends meet.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. You've given us a lot to think about, and I certainly hope that you'll stay in touch, and please keep safe and continue the amazing work that you're doing.
Thank you for having me on, and we're all in this together.
Absolutely.
So, absolutely.
Thank you.
And if you want to learn more about the Institute for Women's Policy Research and take part in some of the upcoming webinars the IWPR is hosting, or sign up for the newsletter to be in the know about new research, simply head to their website, IWPR.org. Of course, we'll have all that information on today's program on our website, workingwomanreport.com.